7th Standard, Term 3, Unit 2, Prose, a story of self-sacrifice and bravery. Pan Am Flight 73. It was the morning of September 5, 1986. The aircraft Pan Am Flight 73 with 360 passengers on board had just arrived from Mumbai and was ready to depart from Jinnah International Airport in Karachi for its destination, the United States. Unfortunately, the flight was hijacked by 4 heavily armed terrorists while it was parked at Karachi Airport. The passengers on the plane hailed from different countries. They were Indians, Germans, Americans, and Pakistanis, among others. The terrorists were more intent on targeting the Americans. When Neerja was told to collect the passports of the passengers, Neeraj managed to hide their passport and discard them down the rubbish chute. With her help, at least 39 American passengers were saved out of 41. The hijackers wanted to fly to Israel and crash the plane against a building. On being confronted with this unexpected calamity, Neeraj immediately sprang into action. She attempted first and foremost to alert the pilots in the cockpit of the hijacked plane so that they could save themselves. When the terrorists saw that, they assaulted her. She then passed on the warning in a code which alerted the pilots. As per the mandate, they made an escape through the alternate exit so that the terrorists were at a loss of pilots who could be forced to fly the plane to the terrorists' desired location. The nightmare on the aircraft continued for long. The frustration and helplessness of the terrorists grew every hour and their patience were running out. 17 hours into the hijack, the plane ran out of power. The terrorists lost their cool and opened fire on the passengers. Armed with grenades, plastic explosive belts, and pistols, the terrorists raised hell on board. Taking advantage of the chaos and the terrorists' senselessness, Neerja leapt into action at this point of time. She shed all her hesitation and fears and worked her way around, evacuating as many passengers as she could. She could have run away, for she knew the escape routes well, but she didn't. She waited selflessly in the face of death to help the ones around her. As she was about to exit herself, she noticed 3 children who were left in the flight. They needed her help in escaping. As the brave heart rescued the kids, she was hit by the bullets fired by one of the terrorists. The wounds inflicted were fatal, and Neeraj eventually succumbed to them. By a cruel twist of fate, this heroic young girl passed away. "I will die, but not run away." This is what a young Neerja told her mother when they had discussed the sensitive situation of a hypothetical hijack. Her brother Anish Banot recalls how one day her mother had picked this topic and told Neeraj that she must save herself in case a hijack ever took place on a Pan Am flight, the airlines that Neeraj was working for. To this, Neeraj had asked her mother to never think this way again, for she was determined to not be a coward in such a situation, and she lived up to her word. Neerja Banot life. Neerja Banot was born on 7th September 1963 in Chandigarh, Punjab, India, to Rama Banot and Harish Banot, a Mumbai-based journalist. She was the couple's third child, a much longed for daughter after two sons, Akhil and Anish. Neerja attended Chandigarh's Sacred Heart School till she was in the 6th standard, after which her family moved to Mumbai. There she attended Bombay Scottish School and went on to graduate from St. Xavier's College. Even though Neerja's career had taken off, her family decided to get her married to a man in Sharjah, UAE. By March 1985, Neerja was married. This is where her life took a turn for the worse. The marriage proved to be a disaster. After 2 months, she left her husband at the age of 22 due to pressurizing dowry demands. But this woman refused to surrender to the society because she was born with the spirit of to fight. Despite a sour marriage, she started her career in modeling and made appearances in various advertisements like Binaka toothpastes, etc. She then applied for a flight attendant's job with Pan Am, the principal and largest international air carrier in the United States at that time. Only 80 of the 10,000 applicants were picked, and Neerja was one of them. She was sent to Miami, get trained for 6 to 8 weeks, and within a year, based on performance and peer review, she was sent to London to get trained to a purser, the senior most cabin manager. Pursers worked as managers on flight, handling passenger complaints, making required announcements, and handling security. She was soon made a senior flight purser with Airways, a big career achievement for a young woman of 22. Awards, achievements, and legacy. Her loyalties to the passengers of the aircraft in distress will forever be a lasting tribute to the finest qualities of the human spirit. Ashok Chakra citation. Neerja's act of bravery was acknowledged and rewarded by the Indian, Pakistan, and American governments. She was awarded the Ashoka Chakra, India's highest honor for bravery in peacetime, and she became the youngest civilian to receive it. A postage stamp was also issued in her honor in 2004. In 2005, her brother went to Washington, D.C. to receive the Justice for Crimes Award, awarded posthumously to her as part of the annual Crime Rights Week. She also received the Tamga-e Insaniyat Award. Her parents set up the Neerja Bhanot Pan Am Trust with insurance money and funds from Pan Am for using the brand Pan Am in the title. The trust presents 2 awards every year, one to honor a flight crew member worldwide who acts beyond the call of the duty, and another to an Indian woman who overcomes social injustice and helps other women in similar social distress. The award includes a sum of Indian rupee 1,50,000 and a trophy and a citation. One of the children who this brave flight purser saved during a hijacking incident in 1986 is now a captain of a major airline. Some people shine even after death, and she was among them. Even the streets of Mumbai couldn't forget her. A square in Mumbai's Ghatkopar East suburb was named after her by the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Do you know? The black box is made up of 2 separate pieces of equipment: the flight data recorder FDR and a cockpit voice recorder CVR. They are compulsory on any commercial flight or corporate jet and are usually kept in the tail of an aircraft where they are more likely to survive a crash. FDRs record things like airspeed, altitude, vertical acceleration, and fuel flow. Early versions used wire string to encode the data. These days, they use solid state memory boards. Solid state recorders in large aircraft can track more than 700 parameters. What others say. Neerja was very sensitive, deeply affectionate, and an extremely decent person who believed in sharing with her people all her joys but not the jolts. She had well defined principles, and there was little room for compromise in that area. Harish Banot, Neerja's father. Dr. Kishore Murthy, a passenger on the flight, said she was at the entrance of the aircraft when the terrorists boarded. She could have escaped like the pilots did, but she didn't do it. That shows her guts and inner strength. She was truly a great leader. Eliza Lewis, another classmate, spoke about how Neerja was always brave. If she had not done anything wrong, she would never cover when the teachers got angry. She would speak her mind, tell them the truth, she said about Neerja. Vrinda Kirloskar, Neerja's classmate from Bombay Scottish, told the Indian Express, "She was a loyal friend. Even if we had a disagreement, she would always be the first one to reach out." Rukshana Isa, Neerja's roommate during the Pan Am training, said, "This was not a job meant for dumb blunts. We worked hard." Glossary. Hijacked, illegally seized control of an aircraft, ship, etc. Calamity, a sudden event causing great damage or distress. Assaulted, attacked violently. Frustration, the feeling of annoyance when one's actions are prevented from progressing or succeeding. Inflicted, caused something unpleasant to be suffered by. Disaster, a sudden misfortune, catastrophe. Pressurizing, persuading or forcing someone into doing something. Performance, doing something to a specified standard. Achievement, attainment, success. Civilian, a person not in the armed services or police force. Posthumously, after the death of the person. Crew, a group of people who work on a ship, aircraft, or train. Injustice, lack of justice, unfairness.